I'm your commentator tonight, and I have got absolutely nobody with me. Our bacon McMuffin disappeared, and Pricey got himself far too drunk to make any kind of sense on a stream tonight. So thankfully for our leading team, BMW Sauber, he's not driving tonight either. So BMW Sauber are represented by Dawid Eckenstorm, as we've seen before. And yeah, we're looking forward to getting going. We're heading out to Austria for round 9 of our brand new championship that you will only find here on Celeritas. Yeah, we're looking to get going pretty soon. I'll give you a rundown of the drivers as we go. We won't have any mid-race interviews tonight. Sadly, it'll be all me doing this. And if I went to a mid-race interview, we would lose the stream footage anyway. So yeah, I will try and get some drivers at the end if people are willing. But we will see. We'll see where we get to at the end of the evening. Like I say, we are live on YouTube, so if you're watching the stream, say hi to everybody, and let me know what you're here for, which driver you're supporting, whether you spot something on the stream that I don't see. Like I say, I've got no backup tonight, no one to be watching a different feed or spotting for drivers tumbling down the order, so do bear with me. Monarch's here for Versace, of course. Yeah. Perhaps I should be more specific. I like the fact that here Gogs and Bruno have got matching team symbols. That's pretty smart. Is that Lightning and Townie have done the same? So that's very cool. No such activity from anybody else, I don't think. Maybe Versace. Have they got matching team symbols? No. Although Waitsy hasn't joined yet. Yes, he has. So you got Waitsy and Bruno. Those guys are got themselves stylishly sorted out, of course, as you would expect. FedEx is here, so we're looking for that. Storm has just informed me that we will hang on for late coming drivers, so I will now need to fill some time. Well, let's talk about the championship. A reminder that this is a team event first and foremost, so the drivers' standings aren't as important because our drivers will only race 8 of the 12 races seasons, and will sit out and hopefully turn up and commentate to help me out when they're not driving. But a lot of our drivers will be doing their race engineering for the rest of their team, either using the stream, which is a little delayed, or if they're super cheeky, they might be able to get into a party with my audio and possibly a spectatorship if they are really lucky, and they'll try and race engineer for their team. Hopefully some of the teams will have been doing some pre-race practice, some strategy discussions, and we definitely see the most cooperative racing across our divisions and racing nights. So we've got a BMW Sauber lead the championship with 248 points. Over 50 points back with 195 are Versace, who have had a late season surge. The late driver change to add Waitsy into the team, seemingly coinciding with a good uptick of form from Bruder and Monarch, and they've been doing a lot better lately. Cyan Racing, of course, are doing really well. They're in third place, 185, and OWP in the almost constantly changing livery of that team are now on 174 in 4th place. So it's a tight battle for 2nd, 3rd and 4th. If BMW Sauber have a total nightmare tonight, it will open up the championship. It wouldn't be the first time for those two drivers to have issues, should we say? But all being well, I think BMW Sauber will probably go on to take the championship. That's what they're hoping for anyway. Looks like we're about to get going, thankfully. So I think we're going to get going with 12 racing drivers. So yeah, I'm not super impressed by that turnout. The sun is still shining in the UK and I think in a lot of Northern Europe, which is a bit of an excuse perhaps. But yeah, hopefully they can. It's not such a novelty now that they absolutely have to be out in the sun. I wonder if we need an additional reserve driver in our Formula C championships. We have seen a complete disappearance of Atlas GP, sadly. I've heard no word from them as to what's going on and why they've disappeared on us. Fry Pepper's here for Fraun GP, and one of our editors, Willem or BMW Oosterveer, says, "Hey, nice to have you here with us, guys. Like I say, give me some support tonight if you can, and we will try and give you the best stream possible. If you've got any specific requests or issues, let me know. Got a pretty good idea who you're all cheering on from the fact that most of the commenters so far are they are co-drivers with our with their teammates in Formula C. So Austria it is, Red Bull Ring. This will be pretty familiar to a number of our drivers who drove in the divisional races last weekend. Looks like, true to form, BMW Sauber, the first one's out. Is that going to be Dawidek? It is. Dawidek on track. So we'll get our screen organised, and we will hopefully be able to have a good look at how the drivers are treating the track. Looks like dry conditions right now. None of the drivers have let me know any weather forecast just yet for the race. But let's hope we can get ourselves going. Nice short track here, so nice and quick to get round. You can get plenty of laps in. You can go aggressive on your tyre use. Dawidek just finishing his warm-up lap here. And let's go with a lap around the Red Bull Ring with Dawidek. So up the hill, you can brake really late up here. I think that was about 60 metres, gets the car in 5th gear, I think. Possibly dropped it to 4th briefly to get the car turned in. Managed to get a yellow flag with somebody just warming up the tyres. And we screamed down the hill, back up the crest. Much earlier braking this time. It's a tighter stop. Track looking good for him. Will he try and sneak a little toe? He did not really. Josh got out the way. Again, early braking down to 2nd gears. Quick shift up to 3rd. Line looking good. Dawidek, usually our best reference point in the league when it comes to single lap pace. And lately race pace as well. So 6th gear for the second of the fast left-handers as we come up to the penultimate lap on the race. The penultimate corner on the lap, I should say. Screams through 5th gear, just holding on. Maybe missed the apex ever so slightly there, and a 102.9 is Dawidek's initial stab at lap time. Lankavas in the final sector just invalidates right at the end. We're going to see this a lot tonight, I think, and there indeed Storm has also invalidated his time. Fry Pepper, in the Barcelona coloured Fraun GP. Goes across the line with a 103.3, second place so far. Branch has got a 104.2. Quinn 107. I'm not sure those are going to stay like that. Towney gets a 104.1 in provisional P3. Lankebas has continued to invalidate. Obviously, if you invalidate your first lap, it's quite easy on this track to back out and go round for another one. Let's see if Storm's doing that. Little wiggle on the way out. Looks like he's pushing. Frypepper goes P2, but a fairly sizable gap between Dowdek and Frypepper for a driver to slot themselves onto the front row. Let's see. Throws the car in there, 7th gear. Oh, that was very aggressive. Backed out of it. And heads into the pits. So Bruder is out there. Gets early time. Quinneth has gone 103.8, but a really big gap now between first and fourth place, a second between first and fourth. This is going to tighten up something crazy pretty soon if our divisional races are anything to go by when we went to this track. Bruder heading for the line now, 102, 103, 103.9 goes fifth. Gogs has gone fourth in the OWP. Who else is out there? Bruno in the OWP car. Here it is in its neon green and black version. Stops the car nicely. Foot of hill. It's a difficult track to commentate on because there's not a great deal of differentiators when it comes to the corners. So Carrera fans watching along, apparently free enough to watch and not free enough to help commentate tonight. I'll take that deeply personally, Carrera fan. And we're heading down to the penultimate corner. Nice apex, maybe slightly slow compared to someone like Dowdek, and crosses the line at 105.6. So the slowest registered time so far. What about Josh? He's just coming out the pits. Dowdek's just winding up for another lap. Nobody else on a hot lap, I don't think, right now. So we'll follow Dowdek, see if he can get under that time. Just getting the tyres ready. Not doing a lot of weaving, so not wanting to abuse the tyres too much. Doesn't want to take too much out. Wants to be able to lean on these tyres at the perfect temperatures right from the penultimate, well, probably the final corner. You'll see him take a nice wide line on the way in to the final corner. Big, deep apex, so he can get on the power super early. And we head down, we head up the hill to the first corner. Maybe broke slightly earlier there, braked slightly earlier from Dowdek than his previous lap. We'll cross the first sector time right now, and he's almost a 10th under, which is pretty awesome. Just pointing it in the right direction and foot flat to the floor. Little lockup on the way in. I'm not quite sure how that compared to his first lap, I think. I don't think I saw a lot of tyre smoke on the first lap. Doesn't always mean that they're going slower, and an invalidation from Dowdek, and he was nearly 3/10 up, so big shame for him. Frypepper is under his time. I wonder if Frypepper might get into the 102s. It'd be a big jump if he does. And Storm goes 103.2 into the front row. So come on people, we definitely don't want to see a BMW Sauber all front rower yet again. I think Frypepper's backed out of this lap. Sounded like a pretty tardy gear change. We'll watch with Waitsy as he begins his fast lap. Is he cruising? Or was that a short shift? Yeah, he's cruising round. 103.8, his fastest time. Lightning's out there in the Audi Motorsport team. That was a wide entry into Sector 2. DRS zone available to him. Looks like he's dipping the DRS on and off. Lightning, you might want to take a look at that. DRS opening and closing the whole way down the straight. So we'll get an idea of the Sector 2 time now. Just through here. And yeah, just warming the car. I think didn't register as an outlap, but looks like fried pepper's invalidated again. So pushing hard, but perhaps a shade too hard as Lightning heads into the pits. Carrera finally said he's got exams tomorrow. So apparently YouTube is the right thing to be doing for an exam in the morning. Good luck. Anybody else still taking their exams right now? You could probably tell it's been a while since I was involved in anything like that. I do not miss it whatsoever. Josh has gone P3 for a second row lockout right now for the Fraun GP cars. That's pretty cool. And we're expecting a bit more from Versace as Bruder attacks the start of the lap. Significantly slower than his first time through the first sector, so I wonder if Bruder is also just warming the car up, maybe doing a warm-up lap. Townie's out there. Look at Branch has dropped right down to P12. He is driving alone tonight. His Moving Chicane Motorsport teammate Ivan not arrived just yet. Townie goes in. Branch has invalidated. Sadly, has Bruder gone round for another lap? He is on another lap. I think Dowdek's on a lap. Storm, yeah. Can't seem to find a driver actually attacking. Here we go. Dowdek, again, almost a tenth under his first sector time. Let's see if he can continue here without an invalidation. Might get a tow from Waitsy. No, Waitsy's going to wait on the sidelines for him to get past. Very fair. Good place to blend out the throttle for Dowdek. Careful anybody switching on YouTube during exam revision. You'll get lost in a watch again or watch next rabbit hole. Before you know it, you've lost an hour. Here comes Dowdek. 102.7 does dip he does raise the bar, I should say, for our drivers. So that's provisional pole by some distance now. Half a second on his teammate in identical machinery. I mean, honestly, they're all identical, really, but as Murray Walker would say, some are more identical than others. So Storm going a little bit faster through his first sector. After this turn, we'll get an idea if he's gained any more. Yeah, slight improvement. This is sort of defending the front row, really, for BMW Sauber. Just holding onto the car through the corners. A 103.0, much better from Storm. So a lot closer to his teammate, which is awesome to see. Fried Pepper, another invalidation. What about Lightning? He's got a purple first sector. That's pretty sweet. Will that mean he's got a slightly different setup to Dowdek? Oh, he's got shocking traffic on his fast lap, as I'm not sure, was that Gogs? Yeah, Gogs hanging around on the racing line. That was pretty awful, I can see. And Lightning's now going to go all the way around the track because he's stuffed up his next lap as well. Not cool. Not cool from Gogs. So at the very least, good news there for Lightning was that we caught it on stream. So no arguments. Gogs was most definitely in the wrong place. Lankavas looking for a better banker lap before he can really go attacking the car. Is he just warming up right now? I think he is. I think he might be heading into the pits actually. Yeah. Note of warning to all our drivers went out earlier on this evening to make sure they are fully inside the white line on pit entry before they even get through the penultimate corner of the track. So yeah, absolutely important that they do that, and there will be penalties handed out if you make a late dash over the line. Waitsy P3 1:03.1, nice time from Waitsy, just breaks that Fraun GP second row lockout, so representing Versace very nicely. I wonder if our Versace team have managed to get any sponsorship yet. Are they sitting there racing there in their Versace socks? They've got Versace sunglasses on, wristbands, anything like that? I would hope so. I really would. Maybe we should set up a crowdfunder for the Versace team. Storm's had enough. Storm thinks, right, I'm not going any faster than that one. That was everything I had, and he's gone. Get some refreshment. Maybe get a comfort break or a little bit of nutrition. All quiet at the moment on track. Who have we got? Townie's out there. He's got a nice quiet gap. He's got 0.3 faster than his current time. So hopefully he can enjoy this moment on screen. Monarch says we don't need a racing suit. We're racing in normal outfits. Well, I think it should be you should be using some sort of Versace accessories or something really. Everybody tweet at Versace and try and get them properly kitted out with a goodie bag. Townie on his lap, still half a second under, so this should be a good improvement for Townie. This could get him in well inside the top 10. Misses the apex slightly on the penultimate corner, but that was a good line at very least. Crosses the line, 1:03.5, up to P8 for Townie. Not quite where his teammate is. Everybody else just getting ready for their next laps. Peruda is out there, just in sector 2. Lightning about to start his next lap. Dawidek hasn't gone out yet. I wonder if Dawidek's just waiting for his last one, his the last possible moment, or a back-to-back. Sounded like Lightning had a small upshift there, downshift. Just short shifted slightly too many, perhaps. Fourth gear, big, nice apex, great line through the first corner. This is perhaps why he's able to get to purple that first sector. Let's wait and see where he comes. 1/10 under his best time, but not matching Dawidek in the first sector just yet. Green flag racing for Lightning. Little lockup. He's got an OWP in front of him. It's Gogs. Okay, well that's dealt with. Gogs got out of the way this time. Yellow sector. Oh, and an invalidation for Lightning while he was slightly under. Not really enough to shift the needle when it comes to his starting position, sadly, but yeah, hopefully he'll be doing a little bit better than that on his next run if he can get round. Bruder is under his sector time in sector 1, so looking to get closer to his teammate, maybe depose the Fraun GPs further. So no, he's backed out of it. Let's go back to Dawidek, because Dawidek's on another hot lap and he's faster still. Faster still through sector 1. Again, small lockup into turn 3. Proper turn 3. I don't really call that wiggle down the main straight. But 2/10 under again through sector 2. Purple's the second sector. This is looking hot from Dawidek. Where can he possibly find any more time? Surely he's right on the limit here. Sprints for the line, begging that clock to slow down. A 4/10 improvement from Dawidek of 1:02.3. It's wow. Okay, so 6/10 on his teammate. 6 and a bit maybe. Wow. It's all over for the front of the grid, I think. Waitsy's doing well though. Waitsy's got 10th and a half under his time, which he can be very close to getting on the front row, possibly getting a nice run into the first corner if he can just stretch this time along. And P2 for Waitsy. Glad we caught that one on stream. Great job from Waitsy. Deposes Storm, who didn't go back out. Josh and Frypepper are running at the moment. I think Frypepper's the one on the hot lap, timing things really, really nicely. Frypepper is 7/100ths faster, so he might top his teammate here. I don't think he's going to do any better than Storm on current progress unless he can monster that final sector. Big short shift, decides that's everything he wants to play with tonight, and it's all over. Wow, it's almost like the Fawn GPs are tied together, both turning right into the barriers at the end of the session. I'm not sure if that's in anger or they've just both fallen asleep at the same time. Is Waitsy going around for another lap? I don't think he can beat that lap. Just didn't want to go in the pits, I think. So, yeah, people just questioning Dawidek's abilities, not in a negative way, but questioning, I guess, his actual humanity. Here we have Dawidek, a 102.3 monster of a time. I don't know what that compares to the world time trial times, but that was pretty something. That was something else, right? So Waitsy P1, Waitsy P2 with a 102.8, 5/10ths slower than Dawidek. We've got Storm in third, Josh and Frypepper 4th and 5th. Then Lightning. We've got Bruder in 7th, Townie 8th, Quinn in 9th, Lankavas in 10th. Then we've got Gogs, Branch, and Bruno will start at the back of the grid. We will see a different strategy, I'm sure, from Gogs and Branch. Gogs having to defend himself and his track positioning in the Discord already. Pricey says that Dawidek's not happy with his lap still, so I hope Dawidek will let me know what his best time is around here. It's looking a bit cloudy again. Are we going to see an overcast race, or are we going to see a few drops of rain in the Styrian Mountains for our Formula C race? I wouldn't mind a little bit of rain, I have to say, especially towards the end of the race. But this race probably will be quite quick. Blink and you will miss the action here tonight in Austria. It's a really, really difficult race to get a decent gap on the competition, and we see lots of changes for position. Lightning tells me that it should be dry, but I don't know if that's just Jeff's prediction, because Jeff has been notoriously awful in Celeritas recently. Our driver's not happy with Jeff at all. Dawidek will certainly be hoping that Bernd Mailander doesn't make an appearance. We will see. So, formation lap, getting us going. Let me know your predictions. What do I predict? I think I'm going to go bold tonight, and I'm going to... Are we not? Yeah. I'm going to go bold tonight, and I'm going to predict... We have actually lost our formation lap. The one time I don't predict a formation... I don't comment on a formation lap. We've got Waitsy defending here from Frypepper in the lead. Storm has dipped right down. What happened to our formation lap? It's lap 1 anyway. Storm's gone. I think Storm set up the lobby actually. So Storm from BMW Sauber already disappeared. We've had to migrate the host. Dawidek's gone. I think they're calling everybody off. Yeah, I think everyone, thankfully, is gonna Versace taking each other out of the track there. That was pretty entertaining, I have to be said. Glad we were watching with that with Waitsy there. But yeah, everybody is just exiting the session because we did not get our proper start. So thankfully that one isn't going to make the edit. I hope Branch, please. Branch hopefully is doing the highlights for these races. So yeah, I hope that's not going to be the case. I'm going to keep the stream running so that I can try and go into the next started lobby. Do bear with me. If we lose the stream, just check the channel. I'll be putting the stream back on exactly the same place, Celeritas eSports YouTube channel. But I will wait for my invite to come in. Man, that was a few moments, wasn't it? Not exactly enjoyable. Got me a little bit panicked anyway. So lobby ending. Ignore this podium celebration. I'm just waiting for my invite to the next lobby, because otherwise I will lose the stream if I cut away from it. So bear with us while we have a fake podium. Storm has managed to give me an invite, so thanks to Storm. That's all good stuff. Let's see if we can hold the stream. Please don't disappear on us. Are we going to go back in? I think we might have made it. Yes, I think the streamer's going to stay with us, so thanks for your patience, everybody. Looks like we're back in the game, back ready to get going once everybody's on. You can see Storm furiously restarting this custom grid. This is going to be difficult for him. Everybody remain calm. Bruno is begging for multiple invites. If it'd be quite funny if everybody sent Bruno multiple invites, wouldn't it? Yeah, do bear with us. It's a heck of a job to try and organise all of this on the fly, especially a custom grid. Yeah, we'll get going very shortly. Obviously, a difficult streaming session just got harder for me tonight because I'm on my own trying to fill all this time. Very little to talk about. Help me out in the chat and tell me. Let me know how your day's going. Bruno has lots of thunderstorms, so there's an excuse in the can for Bruno. If anyone's keeping track, thunderstorms, so his connection is dropping in and out. Anybody else got any excuses lined up for tonight's racing? I know we had Prime with his bruised hand last week and undefined second problem. Anyone else struggling around? Other Team Versace gloves a little tight. Gog says no excuses for him. He's just slow. Well, certainly not at the back of the grid, Gogs, but so yeah, reminder from Pricey, everybody to put on soft tyres on the top 10 and then free choice on the rest of the grid. Wait, is he claiming he qualified on P2 on medium tyres. I didn't catch that. Can anyone verify that? Quick, rewind the stream. Anyone verify that Waitsy definitely pitted on mediums? I don't think he did. Waitsy certainly. I did let everybody know at the start of the stream that, but not a good idea to raise your voice to Pricey tonight. Pricey has had pre-birthday drinks all afternoon apparently, and he's in no fit state to commentate. I don't know why that makes him in a fit state to admin the stream and Discord, but there you go. Just a little bit of a little bit of warning not to poke the Pricey bear tonight. Looks like we're about to get going, guys. So on my screen at least, Branch is the one with the worst connection. So I wonder if there's anything going on over in Texas right now. Hopefully a dry but overcast race. So cooler tyre conditions should mean less tyre deg for our drivers. They of course will be able to eke those softs an extra lap or two because they haven't done a quali lap. Hopefully we'll have our formation lap this time. Bruno saying he's not making an excuse. I've got to talk about something, Bruno. It wasn't personal. Yeah, very, very similar sky conditions, at least here. Please, if you're listening to the stream and you're driving tonight, put your setup on. We don't want that particular excuse either, because, yeah, we hear that plenty. Haven't got many on the many of your predictions ready here. I'm still going to go with a Waitsy win tonight. That's going to be mine. I hope he's not listening, because I might have jinxed him now. But yeah, hopefully I'm going to call a Waitsy win. And is it brave to say a possible Dawadek drop as well? Tyres then, yeah, just as you might expect, the top 10 in softs, the rest in mediums. So they'll be looking to make a switch strategy work. Just try and remember Gogs, Branch and Bruno. Those three loving each other on the Discord at the moment. A lot of love going on between those drivers. So I'm sure that won't translate to any kind of difficulties on track. Professionals through and through. What is this helmet on Gogs? What have you done with your sense of taste? Good grief, look at that helmet. Okay. Not for me. Anyway, not for me. Monarch says, Waitsy has heard my prediction for a Waitsy win and a Dawadek drop. I got really worried about Storm when I saw him disappear off the start of the non-formation lap. So hopefully Storm will have got that out of his system and have a safer start. He'll be dicing with his teammate Dawadek at the start as well, I'm sure. Quite sure why Branch's race is ruined already. Is that setup? Yeah, setup, okay. Cars are about to get going. Finishing lining up on the grid, and we will have a race for you very soon. Nice angle for us to watch the start of the race. It's lights out and go, 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 finally at Celeritas. And a good start from Dawadek. Poor start from Storm, who is getting tangled up with the Versaces and the unknowns. Oh, Storm has disappeared into the wall. I think he's able to get running again, but he will be disgusted with that start. Look at the action down into turn 2 as we've got side-by-side racing all the way down the middle of the grid. Looks like Josh, it's difficult to tell their colours there, but I think, is that a Blaze Motorsport of Lankavas fighting with Josh right at the front as well. Super close here. Lankavas has had a stormer of a start. Not a storm of a start, because the storm start was somewhat stalled. Josh up into third, with Lankavas now having to defend against Fry Pepper, who in turn has got close attention from Lightning and Quinn behind them. Storm will get going again. He might have to change strategy with action. Battle for the lead for the third place. Looks like Dawadek's got well away from Waitsy at the start here, and Josh has dropped further back. But it's all action again with Lankavas. Lightning going down the inside of Lankavas. Nice move. Just feeds Lankavas out onto the runoff. Lankavas will come back at him here. Lightning hogging the middle of the track. He'll take the outside. Sweeps round. Beautiful late braking from Lightning to defend that position. Gave him the inside, but was confident on his tyres. So really nice move from Lightning to keep that 5th place, having gained 1 position so far at the start. Lankavas gaining 4, which is pretty cool. Storm, well, yeah, let's not talk about Storm's day. So far, this has been not one to remember. Dawadek immediately on the super hot pace. Further down there, look, we've got Gwyneth just defending for Bruder. Bruder's lost out a few places from the start there. He did end up going, getting tangled up with Storm and losing a couple of places, but really it was just all over for Storm in the first corner. Not unusual to see that kind of action happening in Austria here. But Quinn's just staying ahead of Bruder. Bruder dropping back slightly, but will get DRS down the hill. Nice close battle from these two. Where is Quinn going to find himself at the end of this race? Currently P8 with Bruder tucked up behind. Let's head up the grid while those two drivers look to be gapping slightly. We've got Fry Pepper and Josh, each making up 1 place, gaining from Storm's trouble at the start. Hate to keep mentioning Storm's problems at the start, but that's pretty much the major story in these first couple of laps. Dawadek nearly got 2 seconds on Waitsy now, but Dawadek has been known to push too hard through the races and end up with unexpected difficulties or worse tire deck, things like that, but I'm pretty sure he's going to get that organised. Sun just makes an appearance there for Fry Pepper, so we get a much better look at the livery as he chases down his teammate. Now, what are the teammates going to do? Are they going to let each other by and drag each other down the straights using the DRS, or are they going to get in each other's way? It does look like Fry Pepper might be slightly quicker than Josh at this stage of the race, notwithstanding the dirty air effect. We've got a yellow flag in sector 2, but that's faded pretty quickly. Hopefully someone just running around in a runoff area and not too dramatic for them. Waitsy 2 seconds from Dawadek, with Josh 2 seconds behind him. Let's head down the grid and take a look at Gogs, who's already lost out to Storm. So Storm heading back through the field. Tight racing at the back here with our medium tyre drivers, while Storm still on those softs, trying to make this work. Storm has just ended up running into Bruno, who made a mistake on the way out of 1. Storm is a magnet to trouble tonight, it seems. So if I think a round of applause for Storm if he does manage to finish this race, because man, that's got to sap your motivation pretty quickly. Anyway, Branch is on a charge, a default setup charge anyway, so he'll have a very balanced car, but it's not going to help him get around the Red Bull ring. He's already got a penalty, unfortunately. Let's have a quick look at that. So Branch wins our first penalty points award for the evening, and Gwyneth is actually on track with him, so a pretty good job done by Branch to manage to get that particular award. Bruno says he's lost power in his house. Is that why he made a mistake coming out of one? But if he loses power, surely that would put him on AI. So maybe he lost, maybe he just, it was the switch from losing power and it all went wrong. Certainly able to connect to the live stream to comment for us. No, he said he was on for the mistake, that he is owning up to the mistake. So let's go back to those Fraun GP cars. Unfortunately, yeah, Bruno spun on his own. We did catch that, but that will be no solace for Storm, who ended up running into the back of him. Kept it pointing in the right direction, but was on the grass for a while. So the gaps have opened up already. So all promises I made of there being close racing were. I think sometimes the drivers just do this as a reverse commentator curse. Can anyone confirm or deny that for me? Do we just open up the gaps when I say that we'll have close racing? Here comes Fry Pepper. Surely be ready to mount an attack on his teammate. Presumably his teammate will let him by though, because they really don't want to get involved in slowing each other down. This is a team sport, team championship. Yeah, nice, good team racing there, and if they can cooperate like this and just pass each other on DRS, they will drag themselves up the grid towards Waitsy. And you can see there, Waitsy 3.3 seconds from Dowdek, 1.5 seconds from Fry Pepper behind. So these two drivers have managed to make some indent into Waitsy's gap. Bruno hoping for a safety car. Yeah, quite likely, you'd say. Right here, there are several walls to hit. There's all the pit boards out in lap 8 of 36. So, got a quarter of the race done already. Storm picks up a penalty. Penalty's mounting already, and Quinn doesn't have one yet, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, our driver's just running over the edge of the track, and Fry Pepper just loses adhesion on the outside of the corner as he presses the accelerator. He's doing some good job there just to get out of other drivers' ways. Just watching his track map, I'm sure, to feed through, but that's not going to help. I think he was ahead of Josh, and now he's down to 9th. A change of strategy, tyre dropping off. I think the tyres run to about lap 13, 14 here, so I don't think the tyres will be dying on him. Just a simple error, slightly exuberant press of the accelerator pedal, and that was enough. So here we go. Fry Pepper on a fight back. So it's Storm. Storm not really making many more inroads. Fry Pepper running complete. I think the day is the day done for Fry Pepper. He's going to have to drive all the way around. He's taken an end plate off. What's going on? Fry Pepper get round to the pits at least, but really there are points for all finishes in Formula C, so Fraun GP will not be thanking anybody for his teammates will not thank him for retiring early if that's what he plans to do. Josh is catching Waitsy though, so that's looking like a battle to keep an eye on that gap. Whereas further down, Bruder has found Gwyneth's gearbox again, and just looking to try and improve the points haul for Versace tonight. Let's watch with them as it's down to half a second. Lots of empty track space, track views on the camera work tonight. Apologies, we are relying on FOM or Codemasters to provide the TV feed and the direction once we're following a driver. Third of a second now for Bruder. Gets out of that first corner nicely. This looks like this is going to be a good time for him to attack. We'll go up to see Josh shortly, who's closed right up to Waitsy as well. But Bruder gets a nice wide line through turn 2. He's going to try and get a slipstream up the hill, but the concertina effect means that Quinn will be able to get the drive out of turn 2, so into 3, and it's just formation driving through the next few corners. There really isn't a way past through these ones now. We've lost the time gap sadly, but we'll just from memory go back to Josh and Waitsy. Waitsy just struggling, I think, on these tyres relative to Josh here. So 3/10 is now the gap. Hope I haven't put too much pressure on Waitsy with my prediction. Dawidek's driving off though. 11 laps, 5.5 seconds of gap so far. Josh just trying to get out of that corner. Shouldn't get too much dirty air on the way out of these tight turns. It's the long sweeping double left-hander where the dirty air will really hurt them, and through that penultimate corner as well. Just trying to live with him through these corners, like I say, needing additional steering angle, slower apex speed just to keep the car pointing the right way. We have a yellow flag. Is that Frypepper again? Frypepper now on cold hard tyres, I think has caused another yellow flag. We're back to green racing though, so thankfully he got back on it. Hard tyres, he'll be hoping for a safety car now. Looks like, is that no, Lightning's decided to pit on lap 12. So a fairly early lap to pit. He's gone on the hard tyres. So Lightning, hard tyres. Dropping down below Storm in the order now. But I think coming out of the pits with just ahead of Gogs. Let's go back to Josh, who makes a mistake just as we go back to his feed. Waitsy will breathe a very long sigh of relief there, because all the pressure's just gone from Josh behind him as he turned the car around on the apex. That's not Waitsy ahead, that's his teammate Frypepper. So he's going to get out of the way. Unfortunately, Frypepper, he has pitted, but he's just been lapped by his teammate due to those couple of accidents. So not looking great for Fraun GP right now. Let's go back to Bruder and Quinn. Bruder piling on the pressure. Quinn just a small D rating there. Yeah, not using his ERS at all. Coming out of the track, out of the final corner. We'll have a look at telemetry as well, shall we? So 80% here for Bruder, with Quinn down to 0. Quinn has spent all of his ERS fighting off Bruder, and that will be music to Bruder and Team Versace's ears. If any of them are watching on stream, they'll know that that Bruder has got a huge ERS deployment option ready for him to try and get the place on Quinn. So your order on lap 13, just over 1/3 distance there, is Dawidek, 7.8 seconds from Waitsy. Josh is in 3rd place with Lankabas, not his teammates, just similar grid colours, icon colours. Lankabas in 4th with Towney in 5th. Quinn in 6th place with Bruder in 7th. Branch in 8th on the medium tyres. Remember, Branch will be running longer than these soft tyre runners. I think it looked like Bruder just had to blend out the throttle there behind Quinn rather than overtake him too early or end up running into him in the braking zone. This is where he will now deploy everything he's got. A little bit of a late move there from Quinn, and Bruder will head down to the apex. Quinn tries to shut him off, and Bruder's forced to leave space. His braking point was a lot earlier than Quinn, so I wonder if he's running lower downforce and is not so confident on those brakes. Still, he spent a little bit of his ERS, but not all of it. Branch is catching these guys. I think the soft tyre runners' lap times are dropping as they enter the death of their falling off the cliff. Those soft tyres are dying now. We've got Waitsy Josh, Towney in the pits. Lankavas then promoted up to second, temporarily, I'm sure, while Bruder stays out and Quinn goes in the pits. So Bruder going for an overcut. The opposite of true is true of the other drivers I've just mentioned, though many of them pitting on the same lap. That will include, of course, Storm as well. Here is Bruder coming out with his teammate, who he'll be hoping for at least a slipstream. So Bruder just behind Waitsy. In reality, of course, they're a pit stop apart, and Branch has managed to gain all the way up on the back of Bruder. So looking to make a pass here, but he'd do well to just be patient, I think, from Branch. I think Branch will know that and think it's not worth a low percentage move on Bruder, because Bruder is going to come in the pits. Just use this to harvest your ERS, to turn the engine down and be able to push like hell in Ferrari pilot parlance. As soon as he goes past, oh, that was mighty. Did he actually make contact with Bruder? If he did, that was poor form. Bruder was fully across into the pit lane. That certainly will have hurt Bruder's chance of an overlap here. Lightning fighting there with Josh on these new mediums. Looks like Lightning's been one of the big gainers, because of course he put those hard tyres on. They'll be up to temperature now, so he's able to get up the inside very, very close from these guys. I think the medium will just about have slightly better traction out of the corners, but yeah, Lightning gamely holding on as Josh challenges Branch. So Branch staying on these mediums. He'll run those for a few more laps unless they've given up and he needs to go on to hards. But Josh resuming in third place, Branch up to fourth, with Lightning in fifth behind him on those hard tyres, which I imagine will be in a better place than Branch's mediums. Lightning gets to the inside through the penultimate corner. Let's hope no one tries a move like that during a pit stop. Branch runs wide, risking another penalty. Lightning gets up to fourth. So very nice. Bruno's lost power again, sadly. So Bruno will fade out of the action. This is your closest battle on the field at the moment. Dawadek has lost out slightly to Waitsy by about a second through the pit stop cycle. Waitsy, quite typical I think for Waitsy, feeling these medium tyres much more to his suiting. Branch on about 50% ERS, trying to run his own race here and not lose too much time to battles that may cost him track position at the end of the race. He'll be hoping for a better field spread than he's got right now to try and make that pit stop. I don't know, maybe about 12 to 15 laps from the end and put the soft tyres on. Then he will go racing with everything he's got left. He needs to save fuel, he needs to save ERS for that time when he can really hit the track, go for fastest lap, and try and get a really good result here for Movers Chicane Motorsport, who are in desperate need of a good result. Just check in with Waitsy, sitting on the track pretty much on his own. Josh is 3 seconds back after that mistake we saw on stream. Dawadek barely using any ERS, just treating everything as gently as he possibly can, and enjoying himself. I don't know if he's trying to get a record race time for him, or he's just out there securing the win. Maybe we'll find out later. But Dawidek driving supremely and completely on his own at the moment. No one's getting near to Dawidek. Look at the gaps again. They've all opened up. Not cool, guys. Let's have a look at the penalty situation. 6 seconds for the 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th drivers all together, which will potentially help out Quinn at least, possibly Storm later in the race, but Storm's going to have to gain some time. Remember, Storm, did he go on hards? I think he did. Storm, no, he went to mediums, so he's going for a soft medium strategy. He's on the same strategy as the bulk of the leaders. A recovery race, but not really able to do anything drastically different from the rest of the field, just due to starting on those softs and having that pretty awful first lap. Dawidek, your leader on lap 19. And Waitsy 2nd place, with Josh in 3rd. Lightning up to 4th on the only non-medium running tyre at the moment. Branch, Gogs, the only ones yet to pit. So we'll see. I think lap 22 to 24 will be target for Branch and for Gogs to then put the soft tyres on for a late run. It's Bruno running. Bruno managed to resume racing. I think he has. So certainly very stormy in Brazil this afternoon for Bruno. There's nothing like that here in the UK at the moment. Fry Pepper has gone to AI, so I wonder if Fry Pepper has left the session, disconnected or something. Bruder at the moment in 11th. He'll be hoping to at least gain on Gog's pit stop, but not a great result for Versace overall, despite Waitsy being up there in P2. How's Storm's recovery drive going? Not great right now, 10th place. He'll be running these mediums to the end, as will most of the other drivers, so he won't be able to get anybody on strategy. He'll be hoping for a safety car, be hoping for battles running into cars running into each other a bit later in the race. Lankovas is catching Branch, whose medium tyres will be starting to go off now. So Lankovas is on around 50% ERS, exactly the same for Branch. They've been matching each other. Branch has, I think, a lap to run in front of him. That's not Lightning's car, I don't think, because that's 4 seconds up the road, and that doesn't look like 4 seconds to me. So Lankovas just threatening Branch, but as we mentioned, yeah, Branch just peeling off into the pits. I think he'd be trying to make, trying to make a 14 lap run on the softs, which should be achievable, but there will be a little bit of tyre conservation happening for him. Towney then up to 6th behind Lankovas. We will see where Branch comes out. Branch has dropped behind Storm. I don't think he'll drop all the way to Gogs, who himself pits on the same lap. Nice big gap then for Branch to feed back in to behind Storm. I think 6 seconds is his gap to Storm, but Storm has less penalties, I believe. So Branch will have to pass Storm and Quinn and drive a lot further down the road before he can keep that place. Here's Storm though, closing up to Gwyneth. Storm's tyres will be in better condition at the moment, I think. Down to half a second DRS on this short straight for Storm. Does he go for it, or does he wait for the final DRS zone so that he won't have to defend? It looks like he's going to use what he's got to pass Quinn down the second straight, down the hill, gets the job done before the brakes. Quinn on a late dive down the inside. What a wasted effort that was to then pick up another penalty. So he could have stayed with Storm and followed him along to try and benefit from Storm's speed and DRS for a few straights at least, but instead he went for a dive bomb and caught himself another penalty. So he's now equalised with Storm. No, he's got more than Storm on the penalty front, sadly. So Branch, remember Branch in 9th place. We'll keep an eye on that gap right now. 4 seconds to Quinn for Branch, and Storm has 10 seconds to catch Towney in about 12 laps, so not particularly likely. Although of course that's actually only 4 seconds. 4 seconds net with the penalty difference. If Storm can avoid further penalties, he won't have quite as much to catch. Lightning similarly has a 10-second gap to the car in front of him, of Josh. So Lightning hoping to try and get a podium out of this tonight. That would be a respectable result. I think 4th probably would be as well, but he's just fighting with a faster Ghost car right now, which is, as we've mentioned before, quite difficult for our drivers. Approaching a lap driver on a different strategy is incredibly distracting, but Frypepper's gone and gone way ahead of Lightning now on this straight. But the AI should mean that that Lightning is quicker than him. So what about Josh? He can see Waitsy up ahead of him, 1.8 seconds down the road. He has got more penalties, typically for Waitsy driving without penalty, as of course is our leader Dawidek, Lightning, Brooder and Frypepper, although I think Frypepper is driving on AI, so it should be good to not end up with a penalty there. So Josh hunting down Waitsy. We'll go and have a look at Towney, who's approaching Lankaras now. So Towney in the Audi Motorsport colour scheme, following Lankaras in the Blaze Motorsport. What Lankaras is doing, just trying to stop the slipstream there from Towney by hugging the pit wall, and we'll get his tyres a little bit dirtier doing that. There's not a lot of pickup on the track at the moment. Don't know if the marble effect in the Codemasters programming takes into account number of laps or percentage of race distance covered. I'm not quite sure how complicated they've gone with that, but it doesn't look too dramatic, the racing line effect so far. Lap 27 of 36. So into the final stretch now. Towney will have passed Lankaras by penalties as long as he doesn't catch any more. There goes Brooder, just as we're talking about penalties, catching another one, or his first one I should say. So not a great day for stewards or for the penalty count. There goes Lankaras again. Has Lankaras just given the place up to try and get DRS, or does he have a problem that he's trying to battle with? Let's have a look at Lankaras's ERS, 30%. He's actually got more than Towney. I'm not quite sure what happened there, but it really did look like Lankaras blended out the throttle down the start-finish straight, which you would do if you wanted to get the DRS benefit, but he's not really close enough to do anything about it at the moment. Lankavas currently going backwards down the grid this stage of the race, sadly for him, as we watched earlier with Lightning. So Lightning about 6 seconds up the road from the last time we were watching them on screen. Storm up to 7th place at the moment, did get past Gwyneth safely, and it's now Branch's turn to attack. Quinn, it looks like, so Branch on the soft tyres. Remember, different strategy for Branch and Gogs. Branch up to 9th right now, hoping to get 8th from Quinn. Quinn is has got more penalties than Branch at the moment. There goes Quinn. It's like there's a Blaze Motorsport Magna on the pit lane wall, isn't there? Apparently Gogs also having the default setup issue. We tried our hardest to remind our drivers, but Branch gets by Quinn nice and straightforwardly. Quinn not fighting too hard, should be able to see the tyre difference between the two, and certainly will now as Branch just strolls away from Quinn. I used the phrase strolls away. I wonder if that now has a different connotation with the Stroll family in Formula 1. Branch now, I think he's going to have a bit of a lonely race at the end of the race here. I don't see him catching and passing Storm by enough to gain up to 7th place. 8th will still be a good result for Moving Chicane Motorsport, comparatively to their previous races, certainly. So I'm sure he'd be relatively pleased with that on a bad setup and a poor quali. Not a bad finish. We still have all of our drivers who started the race running, which I think is down almost entirely to the motivation that the points finishes for all classified finishing drivers it gives our drivers. I think it gives them just that little bit of incentive, and also the fact that they're playing for their team more than they're playing for the Drivers' Championship. So I quite like the fact that this is all about the team in Formula C. Lankavas now catching Towney. That's your current closest gap on the field. DRS in action for Lankavas. He's got about 10 to 15% more ERS to use. Dowdex, still your leader, 12 seconds ahead of Waitsy, who has a nice 2-second plus 3-second penalty gap to Josh. Waitsy also just probably driving quite a lonely race at the moment. Not a lot of action. We did only have those 13 drivers starting our race tonight. .6, 7/10, that kind of gap for Lankavas, and he picks up a penalty and undoes the work that we're trying to talk about on track here. I think Lankavas just racing for pride now, but he's now got 12 seconds of penalties. He's going to pick up more doing that kind of thing as well as the tyres start to fade with 5 to go. Laps ticking by really quickly here in Austria for obvious reasons. Nobody's any closer to each other than Lankavas and Towney at the moment, and just smoking those tyres. Branch is trying to push. I think Branch will try and go for a fastest lap run. We'll have a look in that in a moment as Lankavas gets down the outside of Towney, so splitting the Audi Motorsport drivers. Good respectful racing room given there from both drivers. It looks like Towney's going to try and come back, but I don't see someone making a move through the second left-hander there. but he'll try and stay with him as they head on into the final section of the lap and back to the DRS detection. He should get DRS this next lap. We'll see what he's got. Can he come back at Lankavas? DRS open. ERS at 30%, almost identical with Lankavas. Takes fourth gear through the first corner. Deploys some ERS. Looks like he's going for it. Down the outside again. Hard on the brakes. Lankavas front wing just rubbing the rear wheel of the Audi car, and he just edges ahead. I think Townie brakes ever so slightly too late for these tyres in this condition as Lankavas follows suit with a lockup and an apex miss through turn 3. These cars locked together at the moment, giving us a nice show at the end of the race. Quinn closing tightly up on to Gogs. Are we about to see a move here? Quinn down the inside. Is someone going to run into Storm, who's ahead of them? Thankfully, no, I think that's Dawadek who's got ahead of them. So they certainly won't want to do that as Quinn loses the car on stream. Quinn in the bin. It took until lap 33, but a pretty major problem for Quinn there. Gets a 10-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. Just a wet fish slap to the face when you've made a mistake or had an incident like that. I couldn't quite see with the awful camera angle we got given. I wonder if Quinn will head into the pits or he will try and rescue a 10th place out of this, but that was pretty spectacular. Right at the end of the race here, Quinn on those soft tyres. I think he's coming into the pits. He's got 19 seconds of penalty added up so far, which is a bit of a joke, frankly. And he's on his way in. I don't think Quinn is going to be happy at all. Slows the car down. What's Quinn going to do? I think his team are out to make repairs. Will he stay with us? I think he's going to stay with us. Or is he going to wait till the pit stop's done to then retire? Sad to see Quinn disappear like that. I don't know if he made contact with Gogs or not, I'm afraid. Chances look pretty good, don't they, that there was contact between the two of them. The way that the way Quinn turned around didn't look particularly like a natural solo spin. Lankavas resumes battle. Pleased to see Quinn come out the pits. So hoping to pick up a few points for Blaze. We've got no Cyan racing team cars here tonight either. Will Quinn try and go for that fastest lap at the end? I must admit to not being fully conversant with the rules of Formula C, whether you can still get fastest lap point outside of the top 10, because you can get constructor points outside the top 10. That's a question for the rule book and the rule makers. If you know the answer in the chat, let me know. Josh is catching Waitsy here as the tyres start to die with the penultimate lap being run at the moment. I don't think Waitsy will put up a big battle. I think he'll be able to know that the gap is healthy with the penalties. He just needs to avoid running into a penalty situation. Lock up from Josh. Small gaps now between Josh and Waitsy, and between Lankavas and Townie. I think Townie's going to have... Townie did actually get back past Lankavas, so that's cool for Motorsport Audi. Josh closing in. I hope we don't see too many fireworks between these two at the end here, because they've both been wanting to stay on the podium. Fight for honour on track, of course, but certainly won't want to have a late race disappointment. We better go check in with our race leader though, because he's coming through. He's 17 and a bit seconds down the road. Dawadek, as we've seen recently, in ridiculous form at the moment, racing in the big leagues and coming back to Celeritas whenever he can, and showing us all the way. I fancy he's got a good chance of taking on Prime next season if he would grace us with his presence. But Dawidek is going to cross the line and take the win for BMW Sauber in Austria. Fabulous win from Dawidek, dominant display. The only complaint I have is that it could have been more interesting for us. But wait, see, coming through the final corner, looks like Josh is going to try and get a slipstream at the back, but Waitsy takes the second place. Great podium for Versace, with Josh getting third place for Fraun GP. Lightning, I'm pretty sure Lightning will be really happy with this fourth place. Good drive, solid drive, no mistakes, certainly none that I could see, and a good bit of battling to boot. Lightning fourth from Audi. Lankavas got by Towney at the end there, and Towney gets fifth. Lankavas, with the penalty situation, gets dropped down. Storm managed to leapfrog them at the end into fifth place. So nice finish from Storm. Branch brings that car home, last of the non-lap finishers. Wow. Driver of the day goes to Branch Match in a full-on yoga pose. I haven't asked Branch whether he's a yogi or not. There's Dawidek on the top step, trophy aloft, and takes the win. And champagne time for BMW Sauber, and that's pretty familiar now. Versace is second with Waitsy, and prize for worst race suit and hat combo definitely goes to Josh. Let's see. I will take you through the order, and I think Lightning's actually doing the honours for me of adding the podium, hopefully, or am I just going to get random people added into our party? Let's wait and see. So Dawidek takes the win, as I said, with Waitsy and Josh. Lightning in fourth, Storm in fifth. Great recovery from Storm, really. Towney sixth, Lankavas seventh. Branch got the 8th place. Goggs 9th, Bruder in 10th. We got Fry Pepper in 11th with the fastest lap, just taking the Grand Slam off Dawidek. So the only wrinkle in Dawidek's race there, with Gwyneth coming in 12th, finishing the race very nicely despite the disappointment, and Bruno with his Thunderstorms in 13th place. Wow, that was good battles, nice respectful racing. Didn't see a lot of bad contact, and we will see who Lightning was good enough to add to the stream, and we'll have a quick chat with our podium, hopefully. Do bear with me while the screen disappears on everyone, but this is me. I'm still here, and I'm just going to try and get in touch with everybody and get us a nice finishing. I think Branch Lightning has actually added everybody into the party, so this one's going to be interesting for me to try and sort out. So I will hopefully be able to at least speak to our podium. I don't think I'm going to get through everybody because it's pretty late. Try and mute the stream or your microphone if possible, because I'm hearing about 8 versions of my own voice, which is never great. So Dawidek, I'm obviously going to come to you first. Well done for staying awake. It was only Fry Pepper that cost you the Grand Slam today. I'm still here, hopefully. No worries. Carry on anyway, please. You were considering a late start for softs. Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. And we heard from Pricey you still weren't happy with your pole time. Yeah, I'd say certainly a lot of people questioning your biology, possibly your humanity, and whether you've actually got, proof that you were born on this planet. But yeah, you're doing an amazing job at the moment. And I was saying on stream, it seems to be that driving in the big leagues is definitely helping your game. Good stuff. I think we're struggling to hear you at the moment. It might be your new PS5 sharing settings. Well, I'll just let the rest of the stream know that Dawoodek's basically roasting all of you, and he doesn't really think that that we're worth his time anymore. Yeah, his head is expanding by the minute. Well, if people can't hear you, this is just a one-way conversation while 7 people wait in the lobby. So I'd probably be better off congratulating you again and saying good night. Thanks, Dawoodek. Cheers, man. Well done. Wait, see, was I hearing your dulcet tones laughing there in the background?
Yeah, you got me, bro. You got me.
Well, that looked good. I hope I didn't put too much pressure on you, picking you for the win tonight.
To be honest, that's the first I heard of it, so I appreciate
Okay.
I appreciate the confidence, but it didn't quite work out, unfortunately. Dawoodek, my God.
Is that his new name now? Is it Dawoodek, my God? Is that the...
Yeah, my God, and bow at his feet. This guy, obviously, like you said, he's come on so much in the last few months. And it's just so hard to stay with him. But GG's to him for putting the time and the effort in. You know, that's what gets you better at this game. I think I might try and take a leaf out of his book and put a bit more effort in myself.
Yeah, he's definitely leveled up for sure, and
Sure.
I think you can take a great deal of solace pushing him as close as you did in the first few laps and certainly in quali.
I couldn't stay with him. I thought, honestly, I did my quali lap and I was absolutely I was buzzing with that lap. And then I come around and see he's done a 102.3. I'm like, oh, thanks, Dawoodek. But yes, if I didn't get him into turn 1, there was no chance of me even staying with him. So
Yeah.
Start didn't quite work out, and then he just drove off from there. To be quite honest,
Looked like you had a few battles though, a little bit of fun on track.
a little. Obviously, we've got to wait and see what happens with Stuart Sport. There's one incident between me and Josh, I think, happened just after we pitted for the medium tyre. So we will wait on that to see what happens. Oh, was it just before?
I think it was the same lap we either pitted or the one before.
All right, okay. I thought it was one more on the mediums, but yeah, there's just that to take a look at. But to be fair, it was I didn't really have too much to do. I was really struggling at the end. I don't know what Josh's tyres were like, but I don't know if it's my setup or what, but my front left was, I think, 81% as I crossed the line. I just couldn't turn right. I was trying to turn into turn 1, felt like I was on ice.
Probably a bit of a problem not being able to turn right in Austria.
Yeah, quite the problem. But, it is what it is. Good result for the team and, finishing strong.
Yep. Absolutely, especially now that we've got Cyan Racing missing tonight, so a podium while your main rivals have gone. I guess you probably were looking at Bruder for a little bit of a better position with Storm out of action for most of the race.
He sounded like he had an eventful race, so we'll take a look back and reevaluate what went wrong Bruder. But yeah, it was overall, it was a good performance, and yeah, on to next week.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, congratulations. I think we talk about Dawid X late season form, but I think yours has been a really good performance at the end of the season. So it's all looking good for next season, isn't it?
I hope so. I can only do what I do to try and take my form into next season, and see if I can challenge a bit earlier.
Absolutely. Congratulations, great podium. Well done, Waitseat.
Thanks.
Have we got Josh with us? I think Josh was just commenting a little bit on Waitseat's race there.
Yeah, I'm good.
Josh, you got close on track at the end. I think you were maybe hoping to pressure Waitseat into a track limit abuse or something.
I'm not worried about the penalty because mine's getting removed because I got completely walloped in turn 1 off the track.
Okay.
So I've got a warning to get removed, which is I got my race director for it. So.
Sweet.
No, I was running a good race, keeping on the tail of Waitseat after catching him.
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately, Fry spun out when we were. I let him through because he had a lot more ERS than I did, so chance for me to save behind him and him to abuse to get closer towards Waitseat, and it helped. Gained about half a second doing it until he spun, but it was good. I got spun on the inside of Waitseat. I've got the POV, so we'll wait for that to come along. Caught back up to Waitseat after losing about 5 seconds. I was running 52, 53 brake bias through the majority of the corners, just to save the rears, because then when it came to the end, I think I was only on about around just under 70%. I think I just about hit the mark.
Wow.
And then, so I felt the speed much more on the last few laps compared to Waitseat. A few more laps, I think. Could have had him, yeah.
You certainly did get very close at the end there. It was looking good. But yeah, we actually saw the teammate switch round between yourself and Fry Pepper, and we saw him lose it. There was no help from your perspective.
No.
Turning him round. No.
No, we didn't have contact. He just dropped it. He's recently turned off traction, so.
Well, credit to him for that. I mean, that's always good. People turning off assists, what we like to see. Bit happy with your race overall?
Yeah, it's not too bad. It was pretty standard. When you qualify in the second grid, it's like there's not too much effort when it comes into it to battle people because there's not many people around you, and if you can get the ones behind you, running a pretty standard race. But yeah, it was good fun. It wasn't too bad.
So you weren't having to do too much in the way of tyre saving?
Just looking after my brake bias. I wasn't locking up much.
Yeah.
I was locking up a bit into turn 3. But apart from that, no, I was pretty decent on the brakes, to be fair.
Good stuff. Well, a great podium. Good result for the Fraun GP team, and hopefully that'll get you up there with Cyan and Versace towards the end of the season.
Cheers.
Thanks a lot, Josh.
All good.
Right, okay. I don't know if Branch has anything to say, if he's joined, or Lightning. Speak up, you guys, if you do want to say anything.
Lightning's here, but he's muted.
Yeah, he's muted, yeah. And
Lightning
Branch just isn't here.
Branch didn't show. That's cool. Okay, Branch had a good recovery race, actually. Despite being on a fixed setup and a different strategy, he got the car up there to 8th, which was pretty cool. What I was really impressed with, actually, was the fact that we had everybody finish the race that started it. It must be a bit of a record for a Celeritas race, and especially given that Quinn was in the race as well. So I don't think he'll mind me saying that, because he has lost it quite often.
Well, I'll say one thing.
Go on.
Don't complain about formation lap mistakes, because you'll forget your setup the next time.
Yes, man alive, that was tough.
Yeah.
I've announced the beginning of a formation lap as the beginning of the race. I've missed a formation lap in the past, and now I've had a 0 formation lap and completely missed it.
The restart, right? It was actually a blessing, because my remote was on my bed and the brake trigger was halfway down on the start, and I was like, what the hell is going on? And luckily we had a restart, so it was a blessing. So I went down to P10 on the restart.
Absolutely, yeah. It was dramatic, and I'm hoping that when Branch does the edit of this, we'll just gloss over all of that happening, because it was. And I must say, Waitsy, I was watching you as for the sake of it, so that I didn't lose the stream, and
Sure.
the way your teammate ploughed into you at the end of that formation.
Oh man, I know. Oh no, I couldn't. I burst out laughing what happened, man. That needs to go in a blooper reel. That.
Yeah, that would be good, actually, definitely.
Yeah, it would.
Do you know what happened to him one? Because I got pushed like right across the red bit. I was nearly close to the wall.
I know. I did see that Storm got himself turned around and put to the back of the grid, and I think that was one of your team's cars. So I don't know if Fry Pepper or yourself caught one of his tyres.
Fry said he tapped me because someone pushed him. So I was just curious who it was.
Well, all I saw was Storm turning around and having to make up ground from the back on the same strategy as the leaders, which I don't think he's going to be very impressed with after all the drama and hosting the session and everything that he had to do tonight. It's not much of a reward for him. Well, thanks, guys. I'm going to probably call it a night there and say thanks for racing hard. Thanks for everyone watching the race. It's been a lot of fun. It was a bit of a tough job all on my own with some of the times through the race where we had 2+ second gaps all the way down the field. I was praying for a safety car or something to spice things up, but no joy tonight. I hope you've enjoyed spending the evening with us, and I hope you tune in on the same time next week for round 10. Make sure you don't miss this weekend's races. Any drivers watching or anybody spectating, because it's the finale of the divisional races this weekend, Friday and Saturday night, 6 p.m. UK. Whereas the Formula C races run for another 3 weeks. And we will close out the season prior to F1 2021 being released, and give everyone a chance to get their teeth sunk into that game, and at least the initial worst glitches get ironed out. Well, we'll talk to you all soon. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next race day.